Okay, yeah, yes. So in the last class, we had seen about uh, the belt drives, little bit introduction about the belt drives, and we have also seen about how what is an open belt drive and a cross belt drive, and also that we have seen about the difference between open belt drive and cross belt drive. Okay. Now the next thing that we are going to have is that we are going to see is the to find the length of the belt drive. Okay, for an open belt condition. Okay, right. So if we are going to have a belt drive, okay, yes. So if we are going to have a open belt drive, okay, and there is one particular pulley having a larger diameter D1, okay, right? Let us assume it's going to be D1, and there's another smaller pulley having a diameter D2, and that means there is one shaft over here for D1 pulley, and there's another shaft for D2 pulley, which is separated or at a particular distance. Okay, these two shafts are placed at a particular distance. Okay, right? So just like we can assume that there is this is the crankshaft and this is the uh, rear wheel end. So there is one shaft to the crankshaft and then to the shaft of the wheel. So these two have to be connected. So for general understanding, we can have like this. So these two shafts are at a particular distance C. Okay, right. So now if this is the condition that we have a shaft at two shafts are placed separately at a particular distance, and there is a D1 diameter pulley and D2 diameter pulley, okay, mounted on each shaft. Okay, right. So what should be the length of the belt for this? Okay, right. So that we have to calculate, because we cannot have just take any random length of the belt. Okay, if it is too loose, it is going to be slip, it's going to slip away. If it is going to be too tight, then it's not going to be a proper one, so there's every chance that the belt is going to get cut. So what is the length of the belt that we require for this, for an open belt drive? Let us see. Okay, right. So next is that the next thing is that now if you look into this, when a belt is being positioned for this, okay, so the belt is going to leave this pulley tangentially onto the circumference at point E over here and point G over here on the bigger diameter. Okay, right, on the bigger diameter. Okay, right. So now similarly, now since let us assume that this pulley is going to rotate in clockwise direction. Okay, then the it is going to pull this particular tight side of the belt. Okay, that is the GH side. Okay, and the belt is going to come in contact onto the pulley circumference at point G, and from there onwards it is going to be in contact with uh, this pulley D1 up to the point E. But after that, the belt is going to be is no more going to be in contact with the D1 pulley. And similarly, when this belt reaches the smaller pulley, this belt is going to come in contact with the smaller pulley circumference at point F. Okay, and further on, it is going to be in contact with the circumference of the smaller pulley, and it is going to leave this pulley at point H. Right. So now, if you look at this, the belt is going to be in contact GJE in a radius path. Okay, and similarly, it's going to be on a radius path at points F, K, and H. Okay, right. So now, if you take at this, now this is nothing but the radius of the bigger pulley R1. Okay, right. So it is going to be along this radius, right? Okay, over this arc, okay, for this particular radius, okay, R1. And similarly, here also, this belt is going to be in contact with this smaller pulley for an arc, okay, FKH, okay. And what is the diameter of this smaller pulley denoted by D2? So radius of this, since it's an arc, it is going to be R2, right? Okay, and after this belt is going to be in contact, sorry, in a straight line at points from G to F as a straight line, from G to H at a straight line. Okay. Now, if we just look at this, now let us start from one particular point. So the belt is going to start at G. Okay, G, J, E. Okay, right? Arc R1. Okay, since it's going to be an arc. Okay, okay, right? Since and it's going to be onto the bigger diameter pulley. So R1. Okay, then next, then it is going to go onto a straight line from E to F, then again an arc FKH having a radius R2, and then from H to G it is going to be a straight line. So this completes one full rotation or complete cycle of the belt drive. So this is what we have to calculate. So how much is this overall length starting from one point and reaching back to the same point in one complete cycle? So what is the length that we are going to cover up? Okay, this is what we have to find out. So if we find out all these things, okay, then we will get the length of the belt drive. Okay, all right. So yes, now the next thing is that now when we look over here, okay, now with this perpendicular line, this belt is going to leave the contact up to this particular angle alpha, right? So from here, if we take up, okay, from here, this, from here, from this dotted line to this dotted line, it is going to be 180 degrees. But the belt is going to be in contact with more than 180 degrees. Now just look at this, J to E, 90 plus another angle alpha, J to G, 90 plus another angle alpha, right? So this complete arc GJE is going to be 180 plus, okay, this alpha angle, right? Two sides, okay, two sides, okay, right? So similarly over here, now if when we look in this particular portion, okay, now we'll take up the same thing, we'll take up this dotted line which is a 90-degree line. Okay, now the belt is going to come in contact at point F, okay, at point F, right? So just a second, let me enlarge this so that you can view it much more better. Okay, yes. So now if you look at this carefully, okay, now if we take this dotted line, vertical line, so this is going to be completely 180 degrees, but the belt is going to come in contact not exactly over here after this point. So it's here. So there is this angle alpha where for this much angle the belt is not in contact with the circumference on the smaller diameter pulley. And similarly over here also, and to the other end also, for this much angle of alpha, the belt is not going to be in contact with the circumference of the smaller diameter pulley. So here, now this whole thing is 180, but it is not exactly starting here, it is starting after this point. And similarly, it is not the belt is not leaving this pulley surface over here or here or here, it is leaving much before than this 180 degrees only. So here it is going to be 180 minus this 2 times alpha. So that is going to be the arc of contacts. Okay, now this is going to be the arc of contacts, right? Okay, right. So this is the next point that we have to remember. The third thing is for derivation purpose, what we are going to do is that now we have this line EF, right? Okay, we'll just get it down parallelly towards the center such that this point F, I'll just clear it once again. Okay, we have this line E to F. We'll get this entire line parallelly downwards, okay, until, now if I get this point straight down away until this, unless and until it meets the center of this smaller diameter pulley. And I'm going to maintain the same angle, no change in it of this line. Okay, so then what is it? I'm just going to draw a parallel line to this, starting with the center over here. Okay, so I will get this dotted line. Okay, so this 90 degree means nothing but we are getting it down parallelly, maintaining the same angle, right? So because of the corresponding and alternate angles, okay, so this angle will be same as the alpha that we are getting over here only. Okay, right? So what we are going to have is that we are going to have, okay, O1, O2, that is the centers of the shaft at bigger end and smaller end. Okay, and one more point M. Okay, by how much have we moved this? We have moved it by this particular distance. This is nothing but denoted by R2, right? R2, right? So this distance is nothing but R2. But what is the distance from O1 to E? It is going to be R1, right? Okay, R1, right? Please remember this. Okay, now we'll go to the step-by-step derivation. We need to know all these things before we start doing the derivation. We have partly done with the things that we have to know, right? Okay, so now let's go. Okay. So now for this derivation, let us assume the radius of the larger pulley is R1, radius of the smaller pulley is R2, right? Okay, and the center distance between the two pulleys is going to be that is between O1 to O2 is going to be denoted by C. The length of the belt rail is to be denoted by capital L. This is what we have to find out. Okay, yes. Now, as I mentioned previously, to find the length of the belt, what do we need? Okay, to find the length of the belt. Okay, now, as I told you, now let us start from this point G, G to J, right? J to E in an arc manner. Okay, then from E to F straight line, and from F, K, H again an arc, and G to H. So completes one cycle. Okay, right? So this will give the length of the belt. Okay, right. Now that is what is mentioned. Arc GJE. Okay, then a straight line EF. Okay, and then arc FKH, which is onto the smaller end of the pulley, and then again a straight line HG. Okay, right? So I'll just draw a rough diagram over here. So G is over here, J, E, so arc GJE, then E to F is here, FKH is over here onto the smaller circumference of the pulley, and HG is over here, right? So one complete cycle. So now if you group this, okay, we have two arcs, okay, so right, so we'll just take only one portion of this, okay, because the other half is just the mirror image of this. So what we are going to do is that we are going to take only half of this, okay, only the upper half. The remain now once when we know that, okay, we can get the other half. So if I have J to E, I know if I take the mirror image, it is going to be equivalent to G to J also, right? Okay, right? So if I take only one half, okay, so we'll take only that into consideration. So to simplify this equation, okay, so what is this? Now we have G here, center of the pulley, J is here, E is here. So belt is like this. Okay, now G to J, J to E, right? So nothing but 2 times of this. If I take it only half in consideration, so 2 times I can write it as J, E, right? So that will give me even G to J also. Plus E to F is a straight line, G to H is also straight line. So whatever is this distance is the same as this distance. So I can take any one of them. So multiply by 2. Again, 2 is a common factor. Next, coming to the smaller end of the pulley. So it's like this, right? So if I take only one half of this, okay, which is F to K, and it's going to be the mirror image onto the other side. So again, 2 times I can mark. So 2 times arc of J to E plus E to F plus F to K will give me one half of the entire side. Multiply by 2, I'll get one complete cycle. That is what is this equation, right? That is what is this equation that is being given. Okay, next, from the geometry, what we can see now, E to F, E is here, F is here. Okay, so E to F is nothing but equal to G to H and all those things. Yes. Okay, now next, let us go to the next part. Okay, now let us go to the next part. Now what we have to find out is that how much is this alpha angle? I'll just clear this. How much is this alpha angle? By how much is it extra, or how much is it by less than 180 degrees? Okay, so it all depends upon actually the diameter d1 and d2 and the distance. Okay, right? So based on which the alpha angle will vary. Now we have to find out a common thing. Okay, so how much is this alpha angle is what we have to find out, so that if we know this, then we can know what is this particular length over here. So we have to make use of a trigonometric functions. Okay, yes. Okay, so the next thing that comes into picture is that, okay, now the first thing is that, okay, now what we are interested is that, now though E to F is a straight line, it is inclined. It is not a horizontal line, it is inclined like this. So this distance is going to be different. We have to find out what is this distance. E to F is how much. So how do we get that? We have parallelly brought it down. Okay, we have parallelly brought it down and we have it over here. Okay, and we know what is the angle alpha. Now by making use of this, now if we take out O1, O2 and M, it is going to be a right angle triangle. Okay, it's going to be a right angle triangle like this. Okay, the angle. Okay, so we have O1 here, O2 here and M over here, right? So we are going to have this right angle triangle. So thereby what we can do is that we can find out what is this particular side M to O2. If you know this, this is nothing but equivalent to E to F. So that is what we are going to do next. Okay, so for that, so what do we have over here? I'll just write it here. So we have O1 here, we have O2 here, and we have M point over here, and this is the alpha angle. Okay, so now if you want to know what is M to O, this distance, then we should know the sine alpha of this. So sine alpha is nothing but what? O1 O1M divided by O1 O2, right? That is what is the first step. Opposite by side by hypotenuse. Next, how can this O1M be written? Now it's actually onto the bigger diameter pulley. So this here we have the letter F and we have the bigger diameter pulley here. Okay. Right. Now, how much have you brought it down? This E to F, we have brought it down by a distance of R2. So now this O1M can be represented as O1E minus M to E, right? So if I subtract this, then I will get this distance, okay, right? So what is O1E? Nothing but radius R1, okay, and what is M to E? Nothing but the distance R2, right? So R1 minus R2 will give me this distance O1M. So that is what we are going to get as R1 minus R2. Next, O1, O2 is what? Is actually nothing but the center distance between the two pulleys, right? So that is being denoted by C. So R1 minus R2 divided by C, right? So that is your sine alpha. Next, so next, since sine we are going to make use of only alpha when we find out, okay, and since it's going to be a very small angle, this will be neglected. So instead of sine alpha, it is going to be taken up only as R1 minus R2 divided by C, because sine alpha is a very small angle. Okay, yes. So what we have done till now is that now we have come across, now we have taken about, we have found out the how to get this distance E to F, nothing but then we got even G to H also. Now let us see how to get about this arc JE, okay, right? So if you get arc JE multiply by 2, we'll get GJE, complete thing. Similarly, we can follow it over here also. So yes, so we'll go there. Okay, so now when we go to arc JE, right? So arc JE, I just draw this. Center is here, okay, and the belt is still here, till this circumference, till this point. This is the E, okay, and here we have J, right? This is the center. Okay, so this is 90 degrees. Okay, So arc JE, right? So arc JE is what? 90 degrees plus this angle alpha, right? And what is the radius? R, right? So 90 degrees can be written as pi by 2 plus alpha into multiplied by this radius R1, right? 90 degrees plus alpha, okay, into the radius will give me the arc length, okay? So that is how we are going to get arc JE. Similarly, when we go to arc FK, okay, onto the smaller end, okay, we have the pulley like this, but the belt is going to come in contact only here, right? So this much of angle alpha, the belt is not in contact. Okay, here we have F and sorry, here we have point F and here we have point K. So how much it is? This is 90 degrees minus this alpha. Only this particular region is in the contact. Okay, so 90 minus alpha into the radius, since it is onto the smaller pulley, denoted by radius R2. Okay, so 90 minus alpha, okay, into R2 RFK, right? So next thing is that about the E to F, okay, right? So what is this E to F? We have E to F. How much is this length is what we have to find out. Okay, so again here it's going to be a right angle triangle. Okay, so E to F, using our Pythagoras theorem, we can say, we can rewrite it as O to M. Okay, right? E to E is here. Okay, M is here and O2 is here. That is the center of shaft number 2. O1 is here. So E to F can be written as M to O, MO2. Okay, where using our Pythagoras theorem, it can be rewritten as square root of O1 minus O1 O2. Okay, O1 O2 the whole square minus O1 M square, right? And then O1 O2 is nothing but the center distance C square. O1 M can be written as we have just seen over here, it can be written as R1 minus R2, right? So thereby we are going to get square root of C square minus R1 minus R2. Okay, right. Now if you are going to expand this, make it, take the C out, okay, then we get it as C into square root of 1 minus R1 minus R2 divided by C, the whole square. Okay, and now this can be written, okay, using our binomial theorem. Okay, once when we expand this particular form, okay, we will get it like this. So C into 1 minus half into R1 minus R2 divided by C, the whole square. Okay, after this, everything is going to be very, very small digits. So we are going to neglect that value. We are going to take only the first two. So now if when we open the bracket, it's going to be C minus R1 minus R2 divided by 2 times the C. Okay, R1 minus R2 the whole square. Okay, right. So now this is going to be the, if we know this, now this is going to give you the length of EF portion. Now we have got what? Now as of now we have got what is just now we obtained what is the length of EF. Then we have found out what is the arc JE. We have found out arc FK. So multiply all these by 2, we will get the length of the belt. So we have to substitute all these things in this particular equation. So in this particular equation, we have found out arc JE, E to F, arc FK. Now when we substitute all these values, simplify and multiply by 2, we'll get the length of the open belt drive. Okay, so let's substitute that. Okay, now when substituting in that particular equation, 2 times arc JE, nothing but R1, okay, into pi by 2, 90 plus alpha angle, okay, plus EF is what? Just now we got it, C minus R1 minus R2, the whole square divided by 2C, substitute that, okay, and then we have arc FK, that is nothing but onto the smaller pulley. So R into 90 minus alpha, yes, that one also. Now open these brackets, simplify that, okay, then we'll get this particular equation. Now just group it as whatever we have, pi by 2, right? Group all of them, okay. Then for alpha, the another group okay, and then the remaining. So when we rearrange this thing, so pi by 2 into R1, we have pi by 2 by R2. So pi by 2 common factor, R1 plus R2 plus, next thing, alpha is there, alpha R2, alpha R1. So alpha common factor, R1 minus R2, right? Plus this term will remain as it is over here. Now, when we multiply with this common 2 over here, reopen the brackets, okay, 2 and 2 gets cancelled, pi into R1 plus R2, 2 times alpha R1 minus R2 plus 2 times C minus R1 minus R2 the whole square divided by C, right? Okay, so then now when we just simplify this, okay, when we simplify this, we will get this particular equation. Yeah, right. So this is actually your length of the open belt drive. Okay, if you know this, then it is more than enough. Okay, right? Yes. Okay. So in this particular condition, we should know what is the alpha. Right. So this equation is more than enough for us to write the open belt drive to find the length of the belt in the open belt drive system. Right. Okay. This is all what we have to know. Right. So this is the derivation for open belt drive. Okay. So we'll stop here for today.